On the troll.
Hello and welcome to Mzanzo Back. It is that time of the night. I know many of you have been asking about this episode, which is the last episode. It's not a problem. We will deliver, but sometimes these things take a toll. So we had to do it today. Yeah. And also we wanted to see something that has to do with production, and we had load shedding.
Yeah. It's been intense, the load shedding this weekend, eh?
Yeah, it has been intense, but it's okay. We were never intending not to give it to you, but we just maybe we're looking at other avenues in terms of delivering it. Today we are here, though.
Yeah, we are here. We made it. Oh, we made it. And, I'm so... Guys, don't be concerned. We are still okay. We're still fine. Because I saw some of the comments. They're like, guys, please tell us, are you okay? We're okay.
Definitely. We are okay.
It's just that I couldn't log into the account and let you guys know. Like, there's so many things that I was doing over the weekend. But we are fine. We are okay. And, let's continue with Bongani Ntanzi's testimony. And... his examination in chief with Mr. Sipho Ramosepeli. Yeah, it was quite interesting because he revealed even more information that just left my jaw like shocked that all of these things were happening. And we had no idea. We had no idea. There was a lot happening according to Ntanzi's version.
Yes.
And it's making me question a lot of people that are highly respected. I mean, Miss Grenier, for example. And I'm thinking to myself, But let's get into it.
It doesn't look good.
And I see a lot of people saying that there is no way that they are not going to want to nail the 5 accused. And I get it. There's just too much going on. I see it. People are like, there's no way that they are going to get off. And it's starting to look that way. It's starting to feel like...
Yeah, it has. It has.
A lot of people are going to go down.
Yeah. You know what? We were... As I was sitting down, just looking at the web and how things are in terms of this case.
Yeah.
It makes sense why if really they will eventually nail these people. It just makes sense. Because in my own opinion, now we are at a state of defending whatever that happened during this case.
Yes.
It seems like that.
Yes.
So, in no way or form of shape that we will let that go. We will try by all means. Because, look, if anything happens, then Ntanzi should get paid a lot, and it's going to sue the state.
A lot.
Yeah.
And so many people are going to have to explain themselves to keep the jobs that they have. They're going to have to really come up with explanations as to why some of the things happened under their watch.
The way that they happen.
Yes.
Yes. It gives those vibes that letting them go will tantamount to a lot of explanation.
Exactly. Well, accused number 2, Bongani Ntanzi, continued on the stand on Friday, and Ramosepeli continued with the examination in chief. He turned to court appearances. Ntanzi said that on the 13th of July, he never went inside court. He said that he was seated in the vehicle outside the court, and the prosecutor came to have a look at him and left with Mogani and went back inside the court. He said that he did not even see Mjiyakho. Yes. Remember how State Prosecutor Advocate George Baloyi was saying that he actually made more court appearances prior to the one where we saw him on the TV screen and Mjiyakho was there. The court appearance on the 27th of October 2020 and the one on the 27th of November. Okay, the one on the 27th of November, he didn't pitch up. But the first court appearance at the Boksburg Magistrate Court, Advocate Balwe was saying that he had actually made a court appearance prior to that in Rustenburg.
Yes.
So here's Ntanzi telling us that the court appearance that happened there was actually weird in a sense that he didn't even see Mjiyakho, but Mjiyakho entered himself in Bongani's affairs and wrote that he's representing him. You know, who did he apply to? Who gave him the letter of instruction? Who appointed him? I mean, this is weird. And at the time
it was moving like it was a legal aid, some sort of legal aid or something. But also, even with legal aid, you need to
have that letter of appointment.
Yes, and have that conversation and everything that you need with your client.
So the fact that he was sitting in a car, the prosecutor came and had a look at him, went back with Mohani, and he didn't even see Mjiyakho, and Mjiyakho is saying, I represented him on the first court appearance there at the Rustenburg. This is so weird. And at the time, it was the time of lockdowns and whatnot.
Yes.
So that court appearance and how it happened is also very questionable. It's questionable. And when asked what was the reason for you not to be taken to court, Ntanzi said that it would be due to COVID regulations. When we went there, the court was cordoned off with a tape. Ramasipili then asked, on the 17th of August 2020, it was written Mjiyakho is representing you but was not present. And Ntanzi said yes. Sibanda stood to ask if Ramasipili was still on the 17th of July. I mean, he was acting all dizzy and whatnot. I'm like, okay, should Advocate Shalolo stood to ask a very similar question? You know how many insults would have been thrown at that woman in court? They say, Miss Mshalala, where are you? Sibanda just got up and said, are we still on the 17th or what? I was like, this court here is very interesting. Ramasipili then said that he moved from the 13th of July to actually the 17th of August. And Ramasipili said, now we move on to the 20th of August 2020. And he asked, did Mjiyakho represent you in court in Tlhabane? And Ntanzi said that there are many things that happened in Rustenburg that he doesn't recall. And he said, I never went to court on many occasions. They would only send the docket and say that I was ill. Again, very suspicious. And I know they will come with court papers and charge sheets and whatnot. But was he present or was he not present?
When they say that he was ill, because they are the people of proofs, Bona, where was that accompanied by medical examination?
Yes, to the magistrate. Or did they just say it by mouth that he was ill? But of course, they're going to come back and say that he's lying with this situation. That's not how it happened. Well, then where's the proof that he actually appeared in court? The actual proof, the same one we have with the Boksburg Magistrate Court appearance that he was there. Where is that one for this Rustenburg case?
You know, if all these things were happening, it should therefore demonstrate how powerful these people then are. Do you understand?
Yes.
If all that Ntanzi is saying it happened, that even in court he would not appear, but the court will still proceed.
And
that's a power.
There will be written documents.
Hey, that's a power that they have. So basically, these people, seemingly they can get into anyone and convince anyone to do certain things. That's what is being portrayed by the defense. to say, and not just the defense, by the witness himself,
Yes.
the accused himself, saying that this is how things have been moving.
They were just entering and
The
exiting
power is not limited.
the courts. They were just
They
doing
demonstrated that with
the police stations. They were just
with the police stations, how things were happening, and they still have what we call OB occurrence book, and it's filled for some funny reasons by certain people.
Yes.
Do you understand?
And not the people at the police station.
Do you understand?
And I was studying a bit. I went a little bit back to this Coercion case. I did not or had not studied it fully to understand what was happening.
Yeah.
But I'm going back to it a little bit slowly. And
Yeah,
let me
it's
tell
a
you,
must to actually understand the similarities and what is common about that case with the current one, and to actually be able to rate this case. Where does it belong? Is it now at the level of being political, or is it still a case? Because you feel that Coercion's case was more also political.
it had a political
Yes.
influence in it.
That's my opinion. Then if this one of Senzo has similarities, then that means it is also discussed probably at that level.
And what I also noticed is that with the Coercion case, what gave away the fact or the accusation that that the people that were accused in the Coercion case were assaulted.
Yes.
Here's how they found it. Can I tell you how they found out?
Do share.
They found it via the occurrence book entry. There's one occurrence book entry that was discovered by the defense, and they submitted it to the court. Someone had written there that this person, I think it was a Lupondo, was assaulted. And then that's how they got to prove that the assault did take place. The confessions were coerced because an honest police officer actually entered that in the occurrence book. Here's where the twist comes in with this Meyiwa trial. With the Senzo Meyiwa trial, we've already seen that they made sure that they write booked with no injuries.
Yes.
Booked with no.
It's like there's a revision now.
Yes. Lessons were learned from
the old one. Because
that's why Mogani was the one entering in the occurrence books and not the police officers of the station. So it means notes were taken down, lessons were learned, and things were improved. Do you understand what I'm saying?
And if you look at that Coercion's case, the same role players, same participants are there. So you learn, you graduate from what you do. And that is obviously our theory. We're just putting that theory
it's just
to
a
you.
speculation that actually the Coercion case was around 2014-ish, somewhere there, and now it's 2020. Obvious, you get better, get better at doing things. And it's part that comes with the territory of having a particular career,
Yes.
And then Ramasipili said, let me go on the contents of that appearance on the 20th of August 2020. The recording by the presiding officer in that matter, digitally recorded Mr. Mjiyakho addressing the court. He said, accused abandons bail application. And he asked Ntanzi, did you instruct Mr. Mjiyakho to abandon a bail for you? And Ntanzi said, my lord, the bail, I would have taken it because I was employed. I would have liked to be released on bail. And again, Buthelezi and Zondo were going to come and bail me out. So the judge said that the question had not been answered because Mr. Ramasipili is leading the witness. He repeated the question again, Mr. Ramasipili, and asked, and then he told us about Buthelezi. This is the judge at the time throwing shade, and he was saying that Bongani Ntanzi is like, hey. I found that very The tone was like, you sound like you already made a decision. Like, you are sounding like you're just passing by time with this testimony. You're just going to say that he's lying.
Exactly. That's
it's like, hey, hey, hey. I'm like, what is the reason for saying he's saying hey? You know, in that tone he said it. I'm Tswana, Mr. Anonymous, and I'm Sotho. So whenever a person says to you, you are busy saying hey, 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 you know, it's like they're not taking what you're saying seriously.
Yes.
That's what it means.
They're just making noise.
All my Tswana Sotho Pedi people there, you can agree with me. You are annoyed when you have a conversation with somebody, and then when they deliver what you were saying, they were saying you were saying hey, hey, hey.
Basically saying you're just making noise.
And I found it very, very unsettling. But I was like, okay, it is what it is. Let's move. Well, Ramasipili rephrased the question and asked him, did you give Mr. Mjiyakho the instruction to abandon bail on your behalf? And Ntanzi said, no, my lord, that is not the case. So Ramasipili asked, did Mr. Mjiyakho explain to you that you have the right to apply for bail or abandon bail? And Ntanzi said that he never sat down with this person. Mr. Mjiyakho never sat down with a client that he represented according to his client. He said, even when I terminated our relationship in court, well, a lot of people were saying that here's a manipulation also of kind of taking Ntanzi out of context here, and I don't like it. The narrative is going around to say that what he was saying is that he had said that he never knew Mr. Mjiyakho, right? And then now he's saying that he fired him. And then they're like, how can you fire someone you didn't know and you didn't hire? That's not what he said. He said, "I'm Osha." Do you understand? That's something that can be interpreted in many different ways. Not necessarily he fired him, but to say he said, get out of here. You understand? You are saying that you're representing me. Get out.
Look, you a person comes in and just mushroom and comes to your so-called rescue. And while you are busy digesting that, the person is taking big decisions for you. Obviously, with the leave of a court,
yes,
they are more privy to information in court than you.
Yes.
And you hardly sit down with them. So there's no conversation between you and them. It just and one question. What is the need for Gininda to specify that at some point Mjiyakho visited Bongani Ntanzi in the police station where he was kept?
He said
what was the need of that? And how many times did he keep those visits?
Yes, we'd like to.
Do you understand?
And we're not talking about.
And remember that visit has already been disputed, that it never happened. So, if it never happened, then that would mean that Mjiyakho and Gininda are connected. If it never happened.
Remember Gininda saying that he gave him an LPC letter before he represented Ntanzi.
Yes.
Why give Gininda an LPC letter and not your client? That's weird. Why give a police investigating officer an LPC letter before you even go and represent your client? That's kind of suspicious.
It is suspicious. And the fact that now the investigator also mentions that you were visited. How many times has an investigator mentioned that these accused are visited by their respective lawyers? How many times? None, right? Other than Mjiyakho visiting.
Yes.
What was special about Mjiyakho's mentioning?
That he would visit Ntanzi under custody. And where's the actual proof that it happened? And I'm talking video footage at this point, because even these entries, they are kind of wishy-washy. I don't believe some of them. Sorry, my opinion. Just my opinion.
I also don't believe them. I don't believe that.
The writing has been so much better. You know, when I saw with the Kreja case that what gave away was just one entry on the occurrence book.
And if that entry was never there,
they would have definitely
got
lost.
away.
They would have gotten away with whatever they were doing to them to get those confessions. So he said, even when I terminated, this is also a part where a lot of people are also feeling like there's some kind of weakness when it comes to the defense of really, you know, this thing of them getting stuff late. Even these OB entries, they were received much later stage. You know, it's information is coming in drips and drabs, as Mr. Mnisi would say, you know, and it doesn't give the defense enough time to really investigate and really research what is going on, in my opinion.
Yes.
It doesn't give them the chance to really look at these entries, like give more time, go to the actual police station, see what they have and compare what you've been given in court with what they have. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like it's impossible. They don't have such time. And every time something like that happens, you look at Mr. Mgomezulu, he was made out to seem like he did something he wasn't supposed to do by simply pulling a first page of a judgment.
Yes. It was a big hoo-ha.
It was a big hoo-ha, like you access secret information from the CIA or something. It was so weird, the energy they were giving it, like he wasn't supposed to do that. But that's what defense does. And that's what happened with the Kreja case. Just one entry that the defense found. It wasn't handed over by the state. So it means that the defense actually went the extra mile to even look at the police station, to look at the occurrence book at the police station and compare to what the state had given them. And it found that one entry. They had time to do it and resources. So it was all very, very, very strange as to how this trial in particular is handled, where information just comes in drips and drabs. Those occurrence book entries came late, and now they're being used to debunk everything. And the fact that Mohan is the one who was making those entries and he's not even a part of that police station is concerning.
It should be concerning.
It's very concerning because apparently that's not how it works. Even with the Kreja
A person
case,
who welcomes the person. And the fact that they were done by Mohane, some of them.
All of them.
It proves that what Ntanzi says is that they would go straight and open whatever cell that they need to open and put Ntanzi in.
Yes.
There was no conversation with someone else. It proves that, exactly that.
Person who needs to accept this person.
It proves that.
Look at them. If they are still fine, they have no scratches, no bruises, no nothing. No, that person's job, Mohani did it. Okay, he did it himself. He didn't. There was even some point where he said that he waited. He was waiting for a key while he was giving his testimony. I don't know how many of you guys remember that situation where he was like the person when he was taking one of the accused back to the prison. That person was not there. He was in so much of a hurry that he ended up going and taking the key and opening for. Do you remember that? So did it happen all the time like that? Did it happen all the time like that? That the person who's supposed to receive the accused, you couldn't find them and you just somehow managed to get the key and open for the accused and take them out, book them in, book them out yourself?
You, the accused, you as part of the accused that were seeing this, everything happening, you eventually are the one who was signing occurrence book and all those things.
Yes.
It defeats the purpose of that so-called occurrence book then.
Can we take that occurrence book serious at this point? Because what day? Then Ntanzi then said, I never sat down with this person. Even when I terminated the relationship in the court, I told them that this person does not come to visit me. Ramasipili asked Ntanzi to focus on what he is asking him. The appearance at Rustenburg, the other aspect of whether he would gave him instructions, and he would focus on everything else at a later stage. So at this point, Ntanzi was pretty much, getting everything off his chest all at once. You can tell that he's been waiting for this moment, The way he keeps giving information away, the way he keeps testifying. Although some people, I must say, are kind of worried about that and how he does things. They feel like Sibanda is waiting there.
No,
like
Sibanda is not going to get anything. Nothing. Relax. By the way, guys, please like the video.
They feel like it's going to twist.
I see. Please like the video. Please
like the video, guys.
And while we are liking the video, Emily.
Yes?
I would like to congratulate the Elephants. I was watching that game just now.
All right.
The Cote d'Ivoirians, as I said, that we will be supporting them.
Cote d'Ivoire.
They
Congratulations.
did it.
Congratulations.
Apparently, the Eagles cannot function during the night, but the Elephants can.
I was stressed.
So what happened is that Cote d'Ivoire won 2-1 against Nigeria, which I expected in any case. I didn't want to say. I even said I was going to. Any South Africans going to support Cote d'Ivoire. There's peace.
Yeah, there's peace.
There's peace.
Yes.
No my piano singing, no stealing of my piano and whatnot. So there's peace.
There's definitely peace.
I was watching in the studio there. Everyone was there.
Yes.
Gavin Hunt and even predicted that Nigeria is winning. I was like, these people, they don't know the players that Cote d'Ivoire has.
What players does Cote d'Ivoire have?
It has like the cream.
The creme
de la creme.
What do you mean creme de la creme? What do you mean?
There is your Nicolas Pep from Arsenal. There is forgot this guy who used to play for my team, Barcelona.
So there are even Barca.
Yeah, he's now in Saudi Arabia. All those players were good. I was surprised. Let me say the midfielder of Cote d'Ivoire, it was way too strong for Nigeria. Way too strong. I knew that it's going to be a difficult battle for Nigeria in the middle because I saw that they don't have much to give in the middle. Against Bafana, they struggled in the middle. So they were relying on the runs. So the balls were coming from the back to the front.
Okay.
While Cote d'Ivoire is capable of playing through the middle. And also they have finishers better than Bafana finishers.
Okay. It means our tears did not fall down. Yes. They did not fall down. Yes. Congratulations
yes,
to
they
Cote
won.
d'Ivoire.
Nigeria is number 2. We are number 3.
Yes, we are number 3.
That's it. They
No, same difference. 2 and 3.
Yeah.
They did not win. That's all that matters.
Yeah, we were waiting for them to do all these predictions. I don't know. I'm sure there are pastors who predicted that Nigeria is going to win.
They're going to win.
Nigeria is going to win now. I know you've been waiting for me. Nigeria is going to win. We are too strong for Cote d'Ivoire. And Cote d'Ivoire just did French on these people.
And they were busy saying that Bafana.
And they came from behind. Nigerians got first.
We were catching strays from Nigeria. Strays on all 4 corners.
Yes, Twitter is peaceful. Very peaceful. You must say. Very peaceful.
I'm so happy. Congratulations to Cote d'Ivoire.
That's when I decided to say, it's fine. Because we were thinking, we're just going to shoot and we're not going to go live. I was like, no, let's go live. Let's go live. I mean...
Yes, thank you, Cote d'Ivoire. Thank you.
Cote d'Ivoire has done the job for us.
Thank you.
I remember there's one guy from Nigeria who was watching Congo versus South Africa, supporting Congo.
Yes.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes, and Pepe is not playing for Arsenal. I said he used to play for Arsenal. He used to play for Arsenal, yes. Then Arteta got rid of him. He's not playing for Arsenal anymore. But all I'm trying to say is that the quality that these people have, Pepe comes from Monaco, where Mbappe came from, right?
Okay.
If I remember correctly. He came from Monaco. He was a hot property at the time. Unfortunately, I think he chose wrong. He chose Arsenal. And then it can happen that your career ends like that because you
choose the wrong team.
Yeah, you chose the wrong team. That does not fit the way you play. And that's how Ivory Coast kicked them out.
Hi, they won. That's all that matters.
I was waiting for it. I must say. if we have Nigerians subscribers here, I'm sorry. I love you as part of the family, but this one, I was waiting for it. I was tired of seeing that green and white.
Someone said Bafana went to the cave for an excavation. Excavation, a holiday or some kind of vacation. And I'm like, no one is Australia, Gabias.
And then others said they will take my piano if
others said they'll take my piano away from us. We are giving it to them because no, my piano is ours. It can never be the same.
And the cup is Ivory Coast cup.
Yes, now it's in Ivory Coast, yeah.
So we are grateful for that. We congratulate our fellow brothers.
Yes. Hallelujah.
Which I don't understand why they don't come to South Africa. Some of them. I mean, they like Cape Verde. You know, Cape Verde will be so welcome.
You're like crazy about the girls over there. No, the
women Ivory Coast.
You're looking at the women at Cape Verde and you're like, oh, we didn't know. You're trying to drive us crazy.
We can trade with Cape Verde.
Cape Verde women are beautiful. However, they can stay in Cape Verde. Y'all can book passports and go over there and follow them.
Okay.
We have beautiful women in South Africa as well. Yes.
I'm not saying otherwise. I'm saying since you guys have been jollofined, all we can do is to...
Not jollofined. Please no. Not jollofined.
We can always trade and import.
No.
We are tired of being told about a lot of things that we are not, that the other brothers from Nigeria are. You know, I think Cape Verde would like to come to South Africa and assist. Let us continue.
Okay, let's continue, guys, with the case. So Ramasipile then said on the 26th of November 2020, it says Mr. Mjiyakho is not present. And Ntanzi said yes. Now, 26th of November 2020 is another court appearance just before the 27th, the Boksburg one. So I'm going to assume that this one was the one related with the Tabani court, in Rustenburg. Then Ntanzi said yes, and Ramasipile asked, there is an appearance on the 22nd of January 2021, and the appearance show you had changed a lawyer. This time around, there's a Miss Chia. It was no longer Mjiyakho. This was way before the Boksburg Magistrate Court appearance for the Senzo Meyiwa case, or rather the third one.
Yes.
And Ntanzi said yes. Ramasipile then said Miss Chia then withdrew as the attorney of record, and you then opted for legal aid. The matter was then postponed to the 2nd of February 2021 for a summary trial. So Ntanzi said not that she withdrew. He also says with this Miss Chia, he terminated her mandate. But the way he said it is not how... I feel like English is not doing justice to this translation in particular. And I've been seeing you guys' comments about some of the things. They're not properly translated. And I don't blame them. It's a lot. But what he's saying, mqosha, mqosha literally means I kicked this person off. I denied my affiliation with this person. That in that sense, not in a sense that I literally fired. How do you fire someone you didn't hire?
Someone you don't even get to sit down with.
How does that work? So he's literally saying these people were posing as my legal representative, and I denied them. I threw them out because I did not instruct them to do that. You understand?
Yes.
So then Ramasipili said, did you know the law firm that she came from? And also the reasoning of some people. Sometimes I wonder about people sometimes. Because you cannot say that someone arrives, let's say, let me give an example. Someone arrives at you when you are sick and they say, I'm your doctor. And they go around telling everybody that they are your doctor.
Yeah.
And you don't know this person. What are you going to do?
Obviously, you find a way of getting back to your senses when you get better. If it happens that you get better and get a chance, then you start questioning that doctor.
Did I pay you to help me out? The person who goes around claiming that they have an affiliation with you, and whilst you don't know them, how do you treat that person? Do you accept that person, or do you kick them out of that mandate to say, I'm not the one who appointed you as my doctor?
Yes.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
And maybe a doctor is not a good example in a sense that
Let's give another example.
they have a good intention most of the time.
Not to harm you.
Yes.
But what if they want to harm you and they're saying they are a doctor? Are you going to still keep them?
No, you'll kick them out.
Maybe they're injecting you with things you don't understand.
Then you'll kick them out. Once you get a chance, you'll kick them out.
So why must Ntanzi be held hostage to something he claims he doesn't know? To somebody he claims he doesn't know. He must now have some form of affiliation because that person was representing them when he didn't ask them to do that.
What I don't understand is that with so many interpreters that are available, that are Zulu-speaking interpreters, and I'm saying this on purpose, you could use Jonathan and others. Jonas. Sorry, not Jonathan. Jonas and others. If there's someone who needs to have an interpreter of other languages. But for these ones,
they are like Zulu.
You need to get hardcore Zulu person to interpret.
Can't they get one from
because the translations are totally no. There is even one that was in Randbeck that was interpreting for Ngizwe, but there are many who are like that.
Oh, the one Randbeck actually did a good job, was representing for Ngizwe, and he was so good, guys. He was good at interpreting the deep Zulu that Ngizwe would speak in court. He was so good. Why are they? Why do we have both Jonas?
I mean, it's part. I would say it's part and parcel.
Because so much things are taken out of context and they are going into the record, and I'm worried.
Allegedly.
I'm worried about some of the interpretations myself. I'm like, if I was in this predicament, I don't know. That is going on the record, and that's not exactly how I said it,
Yeah.
So Ramusipili then said, did you know that the law firm that this Miss Gia came from? And Ntanzi said, yes. She said in court that she had been sent by Mjiyakho. We'll explain why he chased Miss Gia also away. He's affiliated to Mjiyakho as well. Ramasipili then asked, were you present in court when Miss Gia withdrew as attorney of records? And Ntanzi said, yes, my lord, I was inside. So she chose to withdraw, making it seem like she's the one walking away and she's not being chased out. So how would you record something like this? It's just an ask, a question I have. So Ramasipili now turned to the events when Ntanzi was taken to Dr. Tlokwe, the dentist, surgeon, psychologist, nurse, Dr. Zonke, Zifo Zonke that came to testify last week. Yes, they went back to him. Ramasipili said Mohani testified that after their appearance in court on the 22nd of June, it is recorded that you were taken to Dr. Tlokwe. And Ntanzi said yes, but I wasn't aware where I was being taken. I only saw when I got there that is where I'm being taken, and asked to describe the circumstances that led him being taken to Dr. Tlokwe. Ntanzi said that they arrived at the hospital in Tlhabani. He was in the car. He was escorted by the likes of Jonathan from EMPD. However, Ntanzi said that he could not differentiate between them, but they were all wearing uniform, And upon arrival, Mohani alighted, and after a while, Buthelezi took him out of the vehicle. He took Ntanzi out of the vehicle. They went inside the hospital, and he says there was a bed there, and a lady then asked him to lay on that bed. A gentleman came, had a look at his teeth using a light. So Dr. Tlokwe did not even explain how he determined how a person's tooth, or testing whether a person has ever had a gold tooth before, how that process he does it. He was busy checking for all of the diseases, honey. He had a long checklist that Ntanzi had to fill out. Ntanzi is not talking about that long checklist that he filled out. He's saying that this person, I came in, I was instructed to lay on the bed, and he checked my teeth. And that's what you would expect with a dentist appointment, right? But hi, Ntanzi went through the most. Ntanzi had a long checklist where he had to mention whether he was pregnant or not, and the tests that were done, the screening that was done. It was like he's going to see a surgeon. He's going to have an operation or some. Like, it was so intense, that testimony, that in my head I was under the impression that it lasted for a good 6 hours or 3 minimum, 3 hours. But the way Ntanzi is describing it, he's saying it was an in and out. He said, I got in there, I laid in the bed, there was a nurse there who told me what to do. I laid on that bed. Then this gentleman came in, had a look at my teeth using a light, and then that was it. Not this complicated testimony we had the other day that took the whole day of a person doing a district surgeon, GP, psychologist, born, didn't talk out fela. He was Dr. Zifo Zonke,
Checking the stomach.
I kind of believe this more. I believe that that's what happened. And it's funny how he did not even explain the process of checking teeth, the process of what he did to determine whether Ntanzi has ever had a gold tooth or not. That was not important. What's important is that Ntanzi didn't have injuries.
Rushing into injuries. No injuries.
And now Ntanzi is giving actually your job description. That's what we were supposed to do, and you did it according to Ntanzi. However, you came in and you added all this extra information, and we are not supposed to find that suspicious. We're not supposed to say, but wait a minute, why is a doctor checking for injuries, making people take off their shirts, having this long checklist of a screening prior to seeing them? It's all very weird.
It is weird.
Very weird.
It is weird.
So Ntanzi said that he was examined in the mouth. When he was done, he then got up and went to the vehicle. Asked if he gave permission to Mabena and Mohani to be taken to the dentist, Ntanzi said that he did not give them permission because at first he said, I was beaten and told to reveal the gold tooth. He said before they took him to that dentist, there was a lot of bitterizations happening looking for a gold tooth. They were accusing him that he had a gold tooth before. They were specifically looking for a gold tooth from Ntanzi. And he said that is what was happening, and that's why they eventually took me to the dentist. Because one has to wonder, why are you taking a person you just arrested to the dentist to check whether they've had a gold tooth or not? But the focus of the state was not on that. It was on he didn't have injuries. Even they made a dentist testify as a surgeon to say that.
Did you say excursion or excavation?
Where is the excursion?
Nomsa saying it's excursion, not excavation. Short general.
Oh, my apologies. My apologies if that is the case. Oh, when we're talking about Nigeria.
No.
It is when we were talking about the Nigerians were saying we're on an excursion.
Oh.
I said excavation.
Oh.
Sorry, my apologies.
Okay.
English is not my mother tongue. I'm sure you guys have noticed.
Okay. It's not any of us tongue.
No,
we butcher it when you get a
mistakes.
Chance. Even Americans butchered it. That's why it's spoken like that.
Yes, all of us have a form of
even Nigeria.
Yes. So in my head, the word excursion is not excursion, not excavation. Sorry.
Yeah.
Can we move on now?
Yes, we can.
Well, Ntanzi was shown a document that had a signature, okay? And then Ramasipili said that there is a signature on the 22nd of June 2020.
Yes.
Dr. Hlokwe's exhibit. Ntanzi said yes, he did sign that. And Ramasipili asked him, why did you put your signature there? And Ntanzi said, I was signing that he had checked me. Okay. Because that's what they wanted. They want a gold tooth on it. So he signed it to say, I've been tested. I've been tested by this dentist, and the gold tooth
all
was
these
not
signings
there.
do not mean anything. I mean, Ntanzi is not learned.
Yeah. He's never put himself there to say, I understood and understand English. No, he has never.
Yes.
Then Ramasipili took Ntanzi through the health questionnaire, and Ramasipili asked who provided those particulars, the name, the age, the gender, etc., that long chalk checklist that the dentist came to testify with. And to the officials at the Tlhabani CSC Dental Center, Ntanzi said that Usisi was asking, and I was telling her, she was trying to speak isiZulu, and I told her my names. Okay. And then the judge said that it is not clear according to how he is saying he is the one who gave the information to the lady, and is it the same lady that now when you are about to be examined told you to lie on the bed? Now this is Ramasipili asking him to make it clear which lady he's referring to. And Ntanzi said yes, that is the same lady, the one that Dr. Hlokwe was calling, what did he call her? He referred to her as his assistant or something like that. Yes. And that's the lady who was trying to speak isiZulu. For those people who may not be aware or who do not know, Northwest is mostly dominated by people who speak Setswana. It's a different language that dominates that side. It's not necessarily isiZulu.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so a lot of people don't know how to speak isiZulu, and they don't have to because their environment is mainly dominantly Setswana. So this lady could have been Setswana, and she was definitely trying to speak isiZulu. So you can imagine what the isiZulu also sounded like, but she was trying to communicate to Ntanzi. The doctor could not. So Ramasipili then asked, did you request to be examined for oral cavity? And Ntanzi said that's not true. He says that's not true. He never asked for oral cavity examination. But the report of the doctor had that. It had the oral cavity examination. He went all in. He checked everything. However, he did not explain the process of how he worked or used to determine whether there was a gold tooth before or not. So Ntanzi then said that's not true. Ramasipili said it also says that allergies, no heart condition, no allergies, but you have a heart condition. Did you tell the doctor you suffered from a heart condition? And Ntanzi said the first time that he had it was when it was read in court. He said, I would never be able to work underground if I had a heart condition. Well, the document that indicates whether he is sick or not or able to go to work underground, he was referencing the fact that every time they start, maybe like every 6 months at the mines, they have to go through a medical. And through that medical, there are documents that are made as you go through the tests to indicate whether whether you are able to go underground or not. With a heart condition, there's no way you're going to go underground. That's what practically he was saying. And they don't play. You are not going underground.
No,
if
you don't.
You don't check all those.
You don't.
You are not going.
You don't.
So Ramasipili asked what health condition would not allow him to work underground. And Ntanzi said that a hearing problem, if you have a hearing, yes, they do test your ears as well. They test your eyes, TB, HIV as well, and a heart condition. Yes. Even lung conditions, you're not going.
Anyway, closer they are.
God, that's what they test. There's a thorough medical examination before you even go underground. So yes, he's right with regards to that. There's no way with the heart condition he would have been able to even get another job there at Rustenburg. Remember, he moved from Sibanye Still Waters, and then years later he got another job at Rustenburg in Impala.
Yes,
that's where he was working before they came for him.
It, yes.
Yeah. So he says that there was no way he could have secured that job if he had a heart condition all the way from 2014. And I believe this version, unfortunately. Shane, those who don't.
Bashaye flop la. Baflopile.
I don't know what was the reason of including a heart condition.
Trying to over-explain yourself.
They should have just left it alone. I don't feel like it was necessary. If he didn't say it, then leave it alone. But they kept hammering on it. Even in the testimonies of Brigadier Gininda, the heart condition, it was like they're like trying to prove something that he did say.
He was checked, yes. That's what they were trying to prove. He was checked.
Well, patient reports to have been admitted for a hearing condition or a heart condition, my apologies, a heart condition in 2014 following a mine accident. And he said, Ntanzi, I repeat, ever since I've been employed, I have never been hit by a rock underground or rocks, because we know accidents happen there. So he says that has never happened from the time that he started working. From 2009 until he was arrested in 2020.
Yes.
It has also never happened that the hole at the mine collapsed while they were still underground. So to say that in 2014 he had a heart condition due to the fact that something happened to him while he was on duty,
it's a lie.
Ramasipili now focused on Mjiyakho, and he asked him, did you hear the state producing a letter from the LPC confirming that Mr. Mjiyakho was an attorney? And Ntanzi said, I was hearing it for the first time here in court. And Ramasipili then asked, did you consult with Mr. Mjiyakho in June 2020? And Ntanzi said, no. I also did not meet Brigadier Gininda that day, which is the 23rd of June 2020. Now, this 23rd of June 2020, if I can remember correctly, it's when Brigadier Gininda had testified that that's when he got the LPC letter from Mjiyakho.
That's when he was called to start with, to say that there is some lawyer here who claims to be representing Ntanzi, and then to authenticate him, he asked for that LPC letter, and then therefore there was a meeting which he allowed access to Ntanzi.
But Ntanzi saying that did not happen. He did not meet Brigadier Gininda on that day. So Ramasipili then said, did you personally call Mr. Mjiyakho to come and personally represent you? And Ntanzi said that he had never made contact with him. Ramasipili then asked, did your family tell you that they had appointed Mr. Mjiyakho to represent you? And Ntanzi said that his mother is an elderly person. She does not know these things. He even said something like, every time the phone rings, it's the children who are in the yard who have to literally say the phone is ringing and answer it and give it to her. So a person in that elderly state who doesn't understand much technology, how would they be able to somehow, somewhere find a lawyer in Rustenburg?
In a sense, saying it's highly impossible that he was called
by the family. And I'm sure they wouldn't.
Is who called Mjiyakho?
Usamile umbuzo. Usamile. Then Ramasipili asked, did your family appoint Mr. Mjiyakho? And Ntanzi said no. Ramasipili then asked, do you know how Mjiyakho came to know about your presence? And Ntanzi said that he doesn't know. Ramasipili asked Ntanzi to relay the events of the 24th of June 2020 when he was taken to Boksburg Magistrate Court. Well, Ntanzi said that he first would not deny being kept at Moot SAPS on the 23rd of June 2020. So Ramasipili then asked, so who booked you out on the 24th? And Ntanzi said that Mohani came with Mabena. So Mohani opened, cuffed his hands to the back, and put leg irons on him. He said we then proceeded to the vehicle. He then drove the vehicle, and Ntanzi said the officers who assaulted him were present. This also includes the EMPD officials. And he said when they arrived at the Boksburg Magistrate Court, Mohani alighted and went up the stairs with documents. He then came back and instructed Jonathan to go with him. Mabena handcuffed him to allow him to go through the turnstiles. Those are the gates that are like, mostly they're in universities. You know, those gates where there's like bars. So you can't get into those gates like if you are handcuffed with your back. It's going to be a struggle. So he says they went there and asked him to stand outside the office. Then came a gentleman who introduced himself as Mjiyakho. Ntanzi says that Mjiyakho said he was sent by Usisi, implying that he was sent by Ntanzi's sister. Ntanzi said that Mohani told him to go into the room while he was still interacting with Mjiyakho. So, so Ntanzi said that Mohani told him to go into the room while he was still interacting with Mjiyakho. He goes on to identify the people who were in the room. And then Ntanzi said, I then sat on the chair and the white lady kept writing. She also had a laptop. Ramasipili asked, where was Mohani? Ntanzi said, I don't know where he was. I could only see the people that were coming from my left side. So according to Ntanzi, there had not been any prior conversation said with Mjiyakho, and now he's been taken to write the so-called a confession, and Mjiyakho pops up, and Veiws, it's some system go, like, I was sent by Usisi.
Yes, that you cannot explain properly from what we're hearing from Ntanzi. Who's that sis? Give me the number. Number is Dololo.
So this also seems like even Ntanzi himself was not aware that he was going to be writing a confession. That's what it seems like.
It also seems like that. Yes, that's true. You're right.
Then Ramasipili then said how many people were in the room, and Ramasipili also asked, did the magistrate and Mjiyakho have a conversation? And Ntanzi said that he doesn't remember. So after the tea adjournment on the document, there is a part. This is now the document of Ms. Grunier. They were going through it too, as they were doing the cross-examination. And on the document, there's a part that said, assisted by Ntokozo Dominic Mjiyakho at the request and insistence of Mr. Ntanzi. And there's the FFC number from the LPC, and it's 04415 of 2020.
Yes.
It's not at the request and insistence. You know, when he says, at the insistence.
Yeah, there are things that words that are said,
Insistence.
but they sort of show you the connection in a sense. It's like a dotted line, dot. Okay, it's like those things who you report to, dotted lines.
Request and insistence of Mr. Ntanzi. He's saying that Mr. Ntanzi was literally begging him to represent him. That's what this request and insistence of Mr. Ntanzi. I'm like, some of the words, child, they are not necessary, They are not necessary to include if that was not the case. You can't be saying insistence and Mr. Ntanzi was confused, bamboozled. He didn't know. His state of mind was not okay. And here you are writing request and insistence. Then Ntanzi said, yes, I can see it, but I dispute what is written here. And Ramasipili asks, is that notation that you were assisted by Dominic Ntokozo Mjiyakho at your insistence? Is that notation correct? And Ntanzi said, no, that is not true because I saw him for the first time on the 24th. So Ramasipili then asked on the document at the bottom, it further says, no other persons present. The persons that were in the room were 4. And this was Ms. Cronje, Tepiso Mtlaping, who was the interpreter, Bongani Ntanzi, who was accused number 2, and Mjiyakho, the so-called representation at the time of Mr. Ntanzi. We're going to say so-called because you cannot be representing someone and they are saying that, they are denying.
You never represented them.
So you are a so-called representation of accused number 2.
Yes.
So Ramasipili then said, do you confirm that it was only those people in the room? And Ntanzi said, I don't agree because I do not know what was happening by the door behind me. Ramasipili dealt with the part that said that, and I quote, the deponent was brought to me by Sergeant Vusmo Simokhani, National Cold Case Investigation Unit, Pretoria. Ntanzi said that he didn't know that white lady, Ms. Cronje, was a magistrate. And Ms. Cronje did testify herself that she was in her casual clothing. She didn't wear a robe or anything like that. If you guys are expecting, let me paint a picture. Ntanzi seems to have arrived, right? And then as he's arriving, they're uncuffing him. He's entering the gates, and then he's entering these court premises at Boksburg Magistrate Court. And you also have to consider it was around the time that he said he had not taken a bath. He was being questioned. At some point they had taken him somewhere. Assault had happened. He was being chubed. You understand? So he's in that mental state and hasn't even gotten much sleep either because they kept waking him sometimes in the middle of the night and transporting and going wherever. He's been frequenting Tabani, Rustenburg, and then in those space from the 16th he's been arrested. Now it's the 24th, right? And then he says they took him there to Magistrate Boksburg. As he arrives, Mjiyakho is coming. Ntumelo usisi. You understand? And then he's seeing this man, they're entering a room. And then there's this white lady arriving, dressed casually. How was he supposed to know that this lady's a magistrate?
He was not supposed to know.
The deponent was confident, making good direct eye contact. That's another quotation that came from that statement. Now, Ms. Cronje had written down here that Bongani Ntanzi was confident, and Bongani Ntanzi was making direct eye contact. Ntanzi then said that this part is incorrect. Firstly, the clothes he was wearing on that day were dirty. Secondly, he was scared because he was scared of the people that he was with as they used to assault him. I must say that I found it rather strange that a person before her was chained, hands and feet, did not bath for days. Obviously, there could have been some stench, a strong smelling, and she chose to write down that they were confident. It's very interesting that she chose to write down confident. Confident in that state, I think, is a stretch. Even if they are guilty, even a guilty person being walking into, it's shameful.
Only a psychopath would enjoy that.
Only a psychopath would walk in with a smile and confident with their chin up in that state. Only a psychopath would. So I was, even when we evaluated this evidence of Ms. Cronje, I was very, very sensitive to this part, because confident is a stretch.
Yeah, it is a stretch. Yeah.
Then it also said, and I quote, you had a blue medical face mask. And Ntanzi said no, he was actually wearing a black mask over his mouth.
And over the time, we have seen him wearing a black mask.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
At the Boxback court, he was wearing, the court when he was appearing for the Senzo Meyiwa case, he was wearing a black mask. So where did the blue one, medical one, come from? And who would have given it to him? And what would have happened to the black mask? So regarding clothing that he was wearing, it stated long sleeve, navy blue, light blue front top, Impala emblem, tracksuit jacket, and blue denim. Ntanzi said that it's not the same outfit that he was wearing. He's saying that he was wearing blue relay jean, a shirt, a vest underneath, and a Fabiani yellow t-shirt. The tracksuit was navy and had red colors. Impala jacket was navy and had silver colors as well. And he was wearing suit Cavella shoes. So both hands cuffed, another quotation, it says both hands cuffed in front of him, cuffs not loose, not too tight. So the magistrate did not notice the swelling and the blood and the strain that was kind of on the wrists. She did not notice them, and it seems like Ntanzi is making it up. I mean, hours and hours of being handcuffed like this. He had no bruises, according to Ms. Cronje. So how are the cuffs placed on you on that particular day? And Ntanzi said that he cuffed me to the front when we entered the gate. Of course, that kind of gate. And the only reason they did that is not because they felt sorry for him. It's because they had to enter the premises. That gate, obviously, he couldn't enter with back handcuffs. So he said, I also had chains on my feet. In room 2, he was cuffed in that manner as well. So as Ms. Cronje was taking down this confession, he was cuffed like that. And she did mention that he was cuffed like that. And then she still said he was confident. The magistrate said that there are no visible marks on the face or hands. And Ntanzi said that she never asked him. If she had asked him, then he would have shown her that these are the masks that I have. And I wonder if they took the chains back or they kept them like this as he was doing the so-called confession.
I think they said the chains were not at the back.
They were here.
Yes.
Sure. So if there were marks there and she just decided not to look or even ask, it's very concerning.
I mean, already, if what Ntanzi is saying, this judge then is tainted. So what he's saying, it is, yeah.
Remember how she testified in Afrikaans, and I had major problems with that, and people accused me of not liking our South African languages, but to me she gave me an impression of a person who has a lot to hide, in my opinion. even Advocate Baloyi was doing the examination in Afrikaans. We had to tolerate her first appearance in her examination in chief of a back and forth between herself and Mr. Baloyi in Afrikaans, knowing very well that a majority of people that are involved in this case don't speak that language. But she did it. It's her constitutional right. And then Advocate Baloyi also speaking that language. Can we say that? To me, it gave me that impression that there's a lot of things being hidden. This testimony of this magistrate is very important. It was very important, in my opinion.
Yeah, it was.
Then he said, I don't want to report any medical conditions or injuries except the heart condition. Again, this heart condition that keeps popping up. And I haven't taken a bath since 16th of June.
So on the basis of a heart condition, there is another dotted line, as I'm saying. You know, once they say similar things, then there's dotted lines.
There's a heart condition that pops up everywhere.
Yeah.
Then Dr. Hlokwe's dental report also diagnosed him with a heart condition as well. And Ramasipili said, did you tell the magistrate that you don't want to report any injuries or medical conditions? And Ntanzi said that she never asked him that question, you know. The answer written here is, did you give it to her? There was an answer that was written there, and they asked Ntanzi if he gave that answer. And Ntanzi disputed it. And Ramasipili asked, did you also tell the magistrate that you have a heart problem? And Ntanzi said, my lord, I repeat, I am not ill. I have never been ill. I don't know where she takes that from. And then Ramasipili asked, did you tell the magistrate you hadn't bathed since 16 June 2020? And Ntanzi said that he did, and also asked to make a phone call. And Ramasipili asked, why hadn't you bathed from the 16th of June 2020 to the 24th of June 2020 when you saw the magistrate? And Ntanzi said that he did not have toiletries, and he also was not afforded an opportunity to call his family to inform them that he had been arrested and where he was, and inform them that I'm at this so-and-so police station. And remember that it was also in the previous examination in chief with Mr. Ramasipili, where he said that Ntanzi had said that the police did not even leave that lady he was in the company of when they took him. They did not leave a number or anything or say that we are taking him to this prison. She was probably under the impression that she will find him at the nearest prison. Turns out he wasn't even kept there. You know, they moved with him to Gauteng and then Pretoria. It was all just an unfortunate situation, you know. And then he said, my family knew on the 13th of July with the meeting I had with Buthelezi, telling him where I was. Now, this meeting he's referring to, because I saw that there was a lot of confusion coming from Mr. Sibanda to say which Buthelezi is this. The Buthelezi he's talking about is the Buthelezi who testified in the main trial and is also a friend of his in Rustenburg, in the area that he lived and worked at. Right. Mr. Anonymous is the Buthelezi who made the judge, kind of angry.
Say that he was forced, he looks forced to change whatever
His
testimony came, because it was not suiting the state.
Yes, that Buthelezi that came in. So Ntanzi is saying that that's the first time that his family got to know that he was arrested. Almost a month later, that's like the 13th of July. That's when he had that meeting with Buthelezi in the car. It was narrated in the main trial about how they were in a car close to an Absa bank, and the police were just outside. Buthelezi entered. It was all very strange how it was happening. But yes, it happened to this guy. And he's saying that, you know what, that's the first time that my family got to find out that I was arrested from Buthelezi.
Yeah, Emily, I'm just going to ask you to be quicker
Okay.
Reason being is that I'm not sure when load shedding is hitting again.
Oh my goodness, we have load shedding, guys. Even at the police station, there was no visitor. I had as a visitor, the first time I had a visitor was in 2021 in March while I was in Ramoshani prison at Rustenburg. And that is also where I became free in my spirit. So Ramasipili said on the 24th of June 2020, did you have any injuries on your person? And Ntanzi said, my body was sore from being chewed with a plastic and tortured. My hands also have marks on my wrists to show how I was handcuffed. And Ramasipili said, is there a reason why you did not tell the magistrate about this? And Ntanzi said, I would have informed her had she asked me. And Ntanzi said that the right to have a lawyer, and if he could not afford one, then the state will provide one for him, was not read to him. It is his first time of that right being read to him in the court. And on the confession statement of Magistrate Grenier, it was written that Mr. Mjiyakho is my lawyer. As in Ntanzi's response to the lawyer question, Ntanzi said that he never told the magistrate that Mjiyakho was his lawyer. He said Mjiyakho told him that he was sent by his family to listen to what was happening. He said, I thought he was sent there to listen, not as my lawyer. That is why I asked him who sent you and where is the phone number of Usisi, and he never showed it to me. To date, I still want to know who sent him, who told him I have been arrested. Ntanzi said that he was seeing the law, or the law that says anything he says, the law that anything he says will be used against him in a court of law was never read to him. According to Ntanzi, Ms. Grenier did not do this, and Ms. Grenier, on the other hand, swore under oath that she did give him these rights with the interpreter interpreting. Asaz. But there is something about also Ms. Grenier when she said that she did not feel safe under the presence of those police officers. I can't get it out of my head. When she said that, she didn't feel safe. She alluded to that. I don't remember the exact words that she used, but she alluded to that, and I can't let it go. I feel like there's something there. So on the question, have you used any product that contain alcohol or has a narcotic effect in the last 24 hours? And Ntanzi said that no, she did not ask her that. That question, he does not know. The answer was recorded as a no. And Ms. Grenier said that a person who told her that he had not bathed for days and was chained in their arms and legs was in their sane and sober senses. He did not appear to be nervous or anxious, fearful, that he was relaxed, jovial, very relaxed, calm, maintained eye contact when questions were answered. Ntanzi said that he asked as he arrived in room 2 that he would like to take a bath and phone his family. Since he had been arrested on June 16th, he never phoned anyone, and he hasn't bathed, and it is unknown as to where he was by his family. And even the eye contact, he's saying he was not making any eye contact. He was looking down most of the time. That's his version. And even Buthelezi said that when he met him on that 13th of July, he was not making eye contact. Buthelezi said Ntanzi was not making eye contact. Yakumbul? And he still hadn't bathed by that 13th of July. Well, then Ramasipili said, what was the exact promise made to you by Gininda? And Ntanzi said that he came to me threatening me and saying I'm making him a fool. He said to me, now that I have information about you, let's work together. He asked me if I don't want money. I said I don't need money as I'm working. He then asked how much I earn. He then asked me, don't I want 3 million rands? I said I'm fine as I'm not struggling at home. So according to Ntanzi, the offer was made after Gininda grew frustrated with him as he was not willing to implicate himself or anyone in the footballer's murder, in Senzo Meyiwa's murder. So he was saying that because he didn't want to admit, then they offered 3 million. So now Ramasipili went through the time Ntanzi spent with Miss Crinier, the magistrate who took the confession at the Boksburg Magistrate Court, and Ramasipili asked, once this document was completed, was it read back to you? And Ntanzi said that everything that is written here, even him signing here, he said he was informed that this is a pro forma and that I have complained, I wanted to bath and make a call. So if everything was read to me, I was not going to sign it. Perhaps I would have signed it in the open field as I have signed all other documents I signed in the open field. So he's saying that he was told or was under the impression that, because he says the first thing he did when he got into that room was ask for a bath and a phone call. So at the end of the document being presented to him, and he signs it, he's saying that he was under the impression that he's signing to make a phone call and to get a bath. That's his version. Okay. Just like the statement I signed at the open field is Gangeni. He's saying that other documents he was made to sign in the bushes, right? And then just like that, if he knew what was written in that document, he was never going to sign it. So he's saying it was never read back to him after Magistrate Grenier took it down. So asked if the magistrate showed him everything that she was writing, Ntanzi said no. Ntanzi said that after the document was completed and he signed it, the magistrate told him that what he was signing is not pertaining to the statement. He said, I then asked her which statement is she referring to and who wrote that statement. She never gave him an explanation. Ntanzi said she stood up and left the office. So now I'm puzzled. It seems like Ntanzi here is implying that this person came with this document already written. Could that even be a possibility? I don't know, guys. Well, asked who left the office with Ntanzi, said that when he got up, the other men who were sitting down also stood up and started looking for the police officers. However, there was another police officer whose name Ramasipili could not recall. The police officers, when you are upstairs, you would be able to see them from downwards. Well, it wasn't Ntanzi who could not recall that other police officer that he said he saw. My apologies. But then he's saying that he would be able to see them from where he was standing, looking downwards. So Ramasipili then said, from 2:30 to 5:20, was Mjiyakho there in the room? And did he say anything as the question and answer session was going on? And Ntanzi said that there was nothing he was doing. He was busy pressing his phone. And Ntanzi was supposed to believe that this person was his lawyer, right? They were busy on their phone. Well, then Jonathan and Mohani and the other gentleman came in. He said, I left the office and went down using the stairs. Then I went into the car. Mabena was outside. Before we left, they all had a meeting outside. Bobu Telezi, Bob Mohani, no Mabena. You know, they were outside having a small meeting before they left the Boksburg Magistrate Court. And Mabena went up to the same room I left. He came back and went into the car, and I did not see the area they were driving me to. And where we parked, the road goes as if it makes a circle, and that is where we stopped. That place is, he said, I'm a fam. It's like it's like an industrial area. You know, and 10 minutes did not pass. Then Gininda and Mukhola came. He came towards the vehicle he was in, and on the 24th, from Pretoria North to Boksburg Magistrate Court, he was being moved in the Toyota Fortuner. Via the testimony of the AVL expert, Mohani and Gininda, is that the vehicle was parked at SAP's garage in Benoni. And Ntanzi said that he does not know of the AVL and how it works. So Jonathan said that you were transported in a Fortuner on the 24th of June 2020. And Ntanzi said he will not argue with Jonathan because Jonathan was right and in the middle, while he on the other hand was exhausted from being assaulted. So Ntanzi said that Gininda came towards him in that open field and asked him why he refused to sign that document in front of the magistrate. He said, I told him I would not sign what I do not know, and who had written that statement, who the author of that statement was. So here, if I may briefly summarize. So what he's literally saying is that he just walked out at the magistrate court. He did not understand what was going on. But then they took him to this open field. They had a meeting about Bongani before they took him to this open field. And in this open field, Gininda now arrives with Mogola, right? And then continuing off, he said, because he continuously mentioned that I'm making him a fool, he then told me that if I didn't sign them, I was going to sign them as they were going to make me. I was taken out of the motor vehicle, my hands were uncuffed, and then cuffed once more to the back, as Mabena had done. So we can confirm that while he was testifying with Grenier, he was cuffed to the front. Then he said, I was placed with a plastic bag over my head. Mabena is the one who placed the plastic bag in Buthelezi was holding me, and the other one who testified, his name he's forgotten. He said that they told him that if he wanted to speak, then he would scream and beat his foot on the ground. Ntanzi said he could not mention how long it took as he did not have a watch. Ntanzi said that they were waited at that place. Mabena was the one putting the plastic bag over his head. Jonathan was by his side, and that is when he realized that he should rather sign this document because there's nothing he did according to his will. So he's saying it would happen frequently. They would put the plastic back and then he would be like, Manani, like, stop. And then they would ask him again, you still don't want to sign this document? And then he would say no. And then they put it again and he says, I did according to my will. If it was according to my will, then I would have written the statement in isiZulu in my hand, and I can write in isiZulu. Which is the question I have as well. I mean, shouldn't one of the conditions for a confession be that you write it yourself?
If you can.
And if you can't, let the recording support
what is written down.
As this confession statement has been taken and you can't write, then the recording must be there as well to support what you confessed coming out of your mouth exactly as it is written. So Ntanzi then said the document he had signed had blood spills on it while he was speaking through his lawyer Mgomezulu. Today Ntanzi said that he would not be able to comment on that because blood did come out. The handcuff was on one place and it was oozing to the side. So he's saying that as he was signing, the blood did come out and he did see it drop on the documents. But now in court, there's no document. Remember, they made Gininda go through page by page to confirm whether there was any blood spill. Any blood spill to completely confuse Ntanzi or debunk what he's saying about there being blood on those documents. And asked if he saw blood on any of the documents he was asked to sign. And Ntanzi said that there was a point when he tried holding, but he even demonstrated with his left hand. However, there was a spillage of blood and he was told to sign. After he signed the documents, they stood talking amongst themselves, then took him to a police station, and he did not know the police station. So regarding the first court appearance for Senzo Meyiwa Trial on the 26th of October, 27th of November, and the 5th of March 2021, Ntanzi said that he was arrested on the 16th of June 2020 for the Senzo Meyiwa Trial and not the 26th of October 2020. Even when he opened the cell, there was a desk and he had documents and a stamp. He then placed them down and told me that I was being charged for the matter of Senzo Meyiwa. Another thing that shocked him was having not given me a proper a paper that was similar to the one that he had given me in Rustenburg, because he charged me first with the case of murder. He gave me the documents for ammunition. Now the documents similar to the one mentioned above for this case, I don't have it. The document he's referring to here is where he was informed of his rights in Rustenburg. that is the 48 hours he should appear in court. And if he does not appear before a magistrate, then the matter would be struck off the roll. And that document for this matter, he was never given. So he's saying that I think he's speaking of a similar thing that Sibia was requesting. In my opinion, that he does have one for the Rustenburg case, and it was given to him within those 48 hours. But he doesn't have one for the Senzo case. And that one would either confirm or deny exactly when he was charged for the Senzo Meyiwa trial, because he was saying that for the Senzo Meyiwa case, I was arrested on the 16th. And they said they are charging me for Senzo's case. Now, they are saying they did that on the 16th of October, 2020. So which one is which? Only that document can tell us exactly what date he was charged for this case. And if he was charged in October, how come he was kept from June? Right? How come he was kept in custody from June? Because all the other cases were thrown out. That would be another question, And he said, I knew something was fishy with that magistrate. That's me in my opinion here. I knew something was fishy with that magistrate, Mr. Anonymous. I knew something was fishy. The moment she came to court and wanted to give her testimony in Afrikaans, I was like, Kona, into is fishy. Her confession statement was not written in Afrikaans, so she testified in Afrikaans. And I know I was a bit hard on her, but, I'm like, but you wrote it in English. You do know the language. And the people that you are testifying against do not understand this language you are speaking. And the person whose confession you took, you did not take it in Afrikaans. Did she take it in Afrikaans?
No, she didn't.
Then Ramasipili now moved to the events of the 27th of October 2020. It is common cause and evidence has been led in this court that you and the co-accused appeared in Boksburg Magistrate Court. And Ntanzi said, yes, my lord. He came to me in the morning. He woke me up while I was sleeping and told me to wake up and go to court. Who is he? Ntanzi said, that's Sergeant Mokhani. And where you provided with any escort from the regular people that escorted you to and fro throughout the investigations. Ntanzi said that there was an escort, but it was not Buthelezi and his team. And Ramasipili asked him to explain to the court what transpired on the first appearance at the Boksburg Magistrate Court. Ntanzi said, we left and arrived at the place. I did not know it was my first time being at that place. We entered the court and I refused to enter the accused box. In the post-lunch sitting, Ntanzi said that he was testifying about the day he told a magistrate that he terminated Mjiyakho's mandate at the Boksburg Magistrate Court on the 27th of October 2020. Ntanzi said that he did not know why he was supposed to go to the accused box. Secondly, he was charged on the 16th of June and Hanover appeared before any magistrate. He said that all of the accused refused to go into the accused dock. Asked if Mr. Mjiyakho was present in court on the 27th of October 2020, Ntanzi said that he was present. He was representing him. Asked how he knew Mjiyakho, that he was appearing on that date of the 27th of October 2020, Ntanzi said that he did not know. So Mr. Mjiyakho had all the dates of Ntanzi's court appearances. And Ntanzi saying, I did not know how he got those date appearances. I don't know when he got those dates because he never visited me at the police station. So Ramasipili then said, on the 24th of June 2020 at the Magistrate Court in Boksburg, did he inform you that he will appear for you in court? Ntanzi said that there is nothing that he discussed with Mr. Mjiyakho. The only conversation he had with him was when he asked him who sent him, and he said he was sent by Usisi just before they went to see Krunye to take the confession. That's the only conversation Ntanzi says he had with Mjiyakho. On the 27th of October 2020, did you instruct Mr. Mjiyakho to come and represent you at the Boksburg Magistrate Court? Ramasipili asked. Ntanzi said, no, I was not in contact with him. Ramasipili then said, now it appears in front of the Magistrate Court. He informs you that he's appearing for you. Did you raise any of your concerns about this representation of you with the presiding officer in that court? And Ntanzi said, no, I did not say anything on the first court appearance. Ramasipili then said, regarding all three court appearances at the Magistrate Court on the 27th of October, 27th of November, and the 5th of March 2021, did you instruct Mr. Mjiyakho to represent you? And Ntanzi said, no, we were not in contact, we were not communicating. I did not even have a phone call or a phone to call him. We were not in contact in any way. Then Ramasipili asked, let's go to the appearance of the 27th of October 2020. You also appeared in court on that day. What happened during that appearance regarding Mjiyakho allegations that he represents you? Did you raise any concerns with the court? And Ntanzi said, we started with getting inside the courtroom. Then we were taken to the cells. When we got to the cells, that is when he came to me. It was the first time of me speaking with him at the cells at the court, at the first court appearance of Boksburg. The first court appearance that happened on the 27th of October 2020. And Ramasipili then, for this case, not for the other cases, guys, for the Senzo Meyiwa case. Then Ramasipili then said, and what was the nature of the conversation between you and Mr. Mjiyakho? And Ntanzi said that when he got to me, and he says, Ubabalo, Ubabalo meaning this man, Mjiyakho, he said he wanted to talk to me. And I said, yes, you may proceed. He told me that he is here to speak to me. He said he wanted to do something. He said he doesn't know what that something is, but he said that he was going to take one docket to the side. He wants to make a deal. And I said, what deal? Deal for what? This is when Sibanda rose to object, and he asked the court if the defense is going to call Mr. Mjiyakho. The judge said, yeah, I think they're going to call him. Do you think they should subpoena Mjiyakho? Must Mjiyakho be subpoenaed?
Well, they should bring him.
Makaze, and tell his side of the story. Sibanda then said he will also have to ask Ntanzi about the contents of the conversation he had with Mjiyakho, and that will amount to hearsay because he says I'll be directed to now ask Mr. Mjiyakho himself, who is not present before this court at this stage. And furthermore, my lord, I'm not sure whether this information or the contents of the conversation between Mr. Mjiyakho and Mr. Ntanzi, whether it is covered by the legal professional privilege or not, that asked how to be divulged by this court. I remember initially when we started hearing about Mjiyakho, people were saying that it's attorney-client privilege, right? The Mr. Mjiyakho cannot be subpoenaed because of that. I remember there was talks of it from lawyers and people who are in the legal field. They're saying Mr. Mjiyakho might not appear because of this attorney-client privilege thingy. But if there's nothing to prove that Ntanzi gave the instructions, does that still apply?
I don't think so.
So it's no longer a matter of attorney-client privilege if he can't prove that Mr. Ntanzi is the one who hired him, right?
I don't think so.
Okay. So yeah, he said also Ramasipili packed what he was saying because now he needed to know from the other defense counsel whether it would be appropriate to subpoena Mjiyakho or not. So in court, he moved on to another section to ask other questions. And the question he asked is that in court, did you address the presiding officer about your instruction or no instruction to Mr. Mjiyakho? And Ntanzi said, my lord, I tried to raise my hand. He even indicated how he tried to raise his hand. The magistrate refused me an opportunity to speak. And we all watched the footage of the Boksburg magistrate court. That magistrate didn't want to hear anything coming from the accused. You've got a lawyer, so speak through your lawyer. Remember that court appearance. So the judge said how Ntanzi demonstrated was like how people do it in football. I don't know what that is. You denied us the footage. So Ntanzi said yes. And Ramosipili asked, and that was declined by the presiding officer for you to address the court. And Ntanzi said yes, he never agreed because I was trying to speak and there was noise. I kept trying and he would refuse to listen to me. So Ramosipili then said, let's move on to the appearance of the 5th of March 2021. What transpired on that date? And Ntanzi said, even there, I raised my hand in court. The lawyer who was representing us, he said he forgot his surname, spoke on their behalf and asked permission for him to speak. And Ramosipili said it has been placed on record that the person who represented you was Mr. Ngwana. Ntanzi said it was him, the one for the state. He was a legal aid lawyer, according to my understanding. And Ramosipili then said, after raising the hand and Ngwana speaking, what then transpired? And Ntanzi said the sister who was interpreting then told him that he could now address the court. Now, given the opportunity, what did he now say? What did he now say to the court? And Ntanzi said that I told the magistrate that the truth must be the truth. It doesn't mean that Mjiyakho was never paid. Who paid him from the beginning? Good question. Who paid him Mjiyakho? Because he's not a legal aid lawyer. And he said, I think he knows why he ran away. Even at Rustenburg, I kicked him out or withdrew his mandate. And I also told the court my reason as to why I was firing him. And Ramosipili said, and what was the reason you terminated his mandate? And Ntanzi said, he came to me telling me about a deal while we were in the cells. He told me he could make a deal with the police. There was money set aside to the value of 3 million rands. I asked him where he got such information, and the answer, I never received it. And I told him that since I was apprehended on the 16th of June, I never appeared before a court. Secondly, I told you that I was beaten to sign papers by force that I did not know. You are not telling the court, you are telling me about a deal. That is what Ntanzi told him, allegedly. And that is the reason that made me fire him or terminate his services in legal jargon, because I have no deal with the police. So Ntanzi is tired, but what he does not understand is that under the circumstances, he's kind of giving Sibanda information prematurely, in my opinion.
What information?
That's Mjiyakho situation.
You needed to address it.
Needed to address it in advance.
And I mean, that's where Sibanda was.
I'm just wondering how Sibanda is going to twist this today.
Twist what? He's not going to twist in it. He's going to try. But, I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, this needed to be addressed.
Well, then Ramosipili was looking stressed. I don't know why he could not, do what Baloyi does and say, this is hearsay. I wished he could do that because but Ramosipili looked stressed when he said all of this about the 3 billion and the. But that's my opinion. Mr. Anonymous doesn't agree, but that's my opinion.
No, the guy needs to say everything. You know, this thing of trying to hide, sometimes it's not playing in
your favor.
There are a lot of things that they've been trying to look at the end of the day. Either way, I mean, seems
okay,
as if
then
this
Mjiyakho
guy
must be subpoenaed. He must be subpoenaed.
I'm really tired of this thing of trying to play a chess game that is not there. There's no chess game here. You're playing with a hooligan who just moves on top of your move. That's it.
Well, then Ramasipili said after that appearance, what transpired? And Ntanzi said after that, after addressing the court, they told me that there was another lawyer who was going to represent me. The judge asked, who informed you? And Ntanzi said he was speaking and it was interpreted to me in Zulu. So before he could answer, Ramasipili moved on to the next question. And the lawyer he was given on that appearance was Mr. Nkwana. That's the lawyer he's talking about after Mjiyakho. So at any stage, asked Ramasipili, for the 24th of June 2020 until the end of December 2020, did you sign any power of attorney or any letter of instruction with Mr. Mjiyakho? And Ntanzi said that there's nothing he signed. Where would he have signed it? Because he never saw him with his own eyes before the first time. And he said, I saw him was on the 24th before the magistrate. He never came to speak to me. So what if this letter of attorney then comes when Mjiyakho testifies and it has Bongani Ntanzi's signature?
He was signing everything.
He was being made to sign things according to his version of events in the bushes, Esgangeni. And so what if that letter is there, but Ntanzi did not sign it in the presence of Mjiyakho? How would that?
Look, it's possible. That's why I'm saying that. You're trying to hide from these people. They will bring it in any case.
They brought the LPC while the registration number of Mjiyakho was under question by the defense, and then Mr. Baloyi brought the LPC letter to confirm that he is indeed a lawyer and has a practice number, and he's been practicing since 2020 according to this letter from the LPC. Well, the judge asked if they are leaving the aspect in the air about Mr. Nkwana, and Ramasipili said that subsequent to that, did Mr. Nkwana appear for you in any appearance in the Boksburg Magistrate Court? And Ntanzi said yes. And did you raise your complaint with Mr. Nkwana so that they can be placed on record regarding your treatment at the hands of the police officers? And Ntanzi said, I told him, but when I listened to the recording, he put it as if I was being assaulted in the jail of Rustenburg. I was talking about the police who arrested me. I wanted him to tell the court, just like I was telling Mjiyakho, that these police beat me and made me sign papers I did not know. Now, why would Mr. Nkwana say that? Why would he totally eliminate the police of Johannesburg and Pretoria completely out of the complaint? In my question, Nah, he might as well just be subpoenaed, because why did he not listen to his client and decide to put it that way? Because there's no way he didn't have any knowledge that police from Pretoria, police that are coming from Pretoria, that are coming from Johannesburg, are behind this. Right? Because he even appeared for the Senzo Meyiwa case at Boksburg.
Look, it's pointless to subpoena Nkwana. It's pointless. I think Mjiyakho definitely needs to explain some few things.
Okay.
Yeah.
But why would he put it that way? I was so perplexed to say that he...
Look, it does happen. Even with Ramasipili, it happened. With them. Some of the things were debunked to say this is what I said. It does happen. So, in this case, the guy tried to get it over to say that this is the case, this is what is happening. And for the first time, it was the first time since this man was arrested.
Well, those complaints were then raised on the 5th of March 2020. Ntanzi said yes. And what was the reaction? Did the court take any action? What happened? Well, Ntanzi said that there's nothing that happened. It ended there with the interpreter telling him that people would come and see him, and nothing happened afterwards. He's saying that those people that they said would come and see him never came to see him. So there was other appearances after the 5th of March 2021 at the Boksburg Magistrate Court, and Ntanzi said that he does not remember. However, they did not appear. He thinks that they may have appeared in another court, and Ntanzi said that there was no further assaults after that. The statements from the magistrate, because he had already done what they wanted him to do. So Ramasipili then asked, and were you at some point referred to a prison? And I'm not talking about a police station. And Ntanzi said that he stayed in a police station in prison. He went on the 1st of March, if he's not mistaken, at Rustenburg. And it was the first for him entering a prison inside. So Ramushana prison in Rustenburg, that's where he was kept. And Ramasipili asked, now evidence has been led in this court through OB entries from all police stations that you were held in, from Pretoria North, Moort. So Mr. Anonymous, Pretoria North Police Station and Moort Police Station are two different police stations in Pretoria. And then Valeria and Primrose. And according to the entries, whenever you were booked in and out, the last notation on the entry would be no visible injuries observed. So whenever you were booked, did the person booking you, be it Mabena or Mukhani, be accompanied by a police officer in uniform, say for example at Pretoria North, who will make the notation on the book in your presence that you never had any visible injuries? Ntanzi said no. So at this time, let's say time the 18th and 19th and 24th of June, did you have any injuries on yourself when you were booked in at all these respective police stations that I've mentioned? And Ntanzi said that in Pretoria he was injured. In Primrose, and Ntanzi revealed that he stayed in 4 police stations, being rotated around them from Pretoria North, Moort, Primrose, and Valeria. There is also evidence that was led by these OB entries, asked Ramasipili, that the cell visits were conducted on a regular basis. Remember, the judge was giving us this interesting information, right? According to the gentleman that testified, Swanepoel from Silverton, that according to the instructions that hourly cell visits are conducted to inspect prisoners in cell conditions. Do you recall any such cell visits being done on the cell that you were held in at Pretoria? And Ntanzi said, no, my lord, I've never gotten a visit. The thing of asking for complaints, he first saw it in Rustenburg. Even at Koshimampuru, they ask if you have any complaints. Perhaps you are sick. I first saw it in prisons. At the police station, I never experienced such. So Ntanzi is here saying that it only happens in the prisons, not at the police stations. And to me also, it didn't make sense. Why would it happen to the police stations? Huh?
Yeah.
In the prisons, it does happen according to Ntanzi, but he's never seen it at the police station. So Ramasipili then said, the police stations that you held at, how many people were held in a cell with you? Ntanzi said, I was by myself, a single cell. So Ramasipili said, besides what I have covered with you, is there anything else perhaps that may have been left my mind that is not repetitive that you want to tell this honorable court? And Ntanzi said that there was nothing. So the judge asked Mr. Sibanda for the time, and he asked if he wanted to start with his cross-examination, but Mr. Sibanda said that he wanted an answer on the question that Mr. Ramasipili parked regarding Mr. Mjiyakho. Sibanda really wants Mjiyakho to come and appear before the court and speak for himself. So the defense counsel started to discuss, and the judge said that he's seeing that the gentlemen are confirming. So he said it would be best to rather postpone. Even the witness must be tired. He asked Sibanda, you only have 1 hour to go, and that which you want to park by Mr. Mjiyakho can be unpacked on Monday. Well, at least he showed some form of consideration from Mr. Ntanzi. Man, akfan, you know, akfan.
Yeah. I'm also tired by this testimony.
But it's important. It needed to be covered. I needed to cover it because now I don't want to be taking people out of context here. I want to know every single detail.
There's not going to be calls today.
Okay.
Because I don't know when this electricity is leaving.
Oh, yes, guys.
So,
we are expecting for the power to cut any moment now.
Yes. So I just wanted you to put everything on record and get it over and done with. And then we'll probably discuss everything tomorrow when we are in better
when we're
position.
live again. So guys, see you
today,
later.
in fact.
Yeah, see you later. Today we will cover what happens in the next court proceedings.
Thank you, guys. Please like the video, share the video. This was just to cover that Friday part.
Yeah, that we missed. Sorry, man. Uxolo.
Yebo. It's a bye from us. I'm not even gonna read people who are in the comments. I see the usual suspects. Thank you guys for being here.
Thank you, guys, and we'll see each other again very soon.